The white flag. One more lap to go to Mario Andretti. The battle appears to be for second place. Mario well out in front. He's ahead of him. Can see his son Michael. You are now riding with Michael currently in third. Can Michael catch that car in front of him? That is Roberto Guerrero, the winner of this race 1 year ago.
He's got one lap to do it. This is his next to last chance. There's only one more turn after this. No way, I don't think.
Mario Andretti comes for the checkered flag. There's the checkered. Mario Andretti wins it. His first win here in 11 years.
Nick Finoro shows him the white flag, signifying one more lap to go. The chassis builders have to be pretty happy about this too, Bobby.
Well, you know, at Phoenix last week, the talk was the Marsh chassis is not up to par this year. It's been the best car over the years, but it's been rumored they're not handling well. But look at it today. They just annihilating the competition, and that's strictly a March car. Lola's have been good, but it would appear like the Penske cars have been awfully quick.
This is the lap now that Al Unser Jr. hears everything going on in the car. He can feel the movement. He is wondering, what possibly can take this away from me? I have to be so careful at this point. Clear sailing again. His last pass down Seaside.
If he holds on to win, he will join Danny Sullivan and Mario Andretti in that heady group of drivers that have won 4 of these temporary circuit races.
Heading for turn number 10 now. A sweeper to the left, and then that very tight hairpin. As he comes off of this corner, underpowered, he sees the checkered flag ahead. A big number 3 being displayed on the board, and little Al Unser Jr. has won the Toyota Grand Prix at Long Beach. And boy, that is one. Look at Rick Allison yelling. That is one happy team. One very happy team as Al Unser Jr. wins at Long Beach.
Not only that, now that will cause a yellow flag.
Yup. And they'll bunch up, and it'll be a trophy dash. Yellow flag. Yep. We saw it. We anticipated. There's going to be a came up on the main straightaway. The yellow flag comes out, and it's going to be a sprint to the finish of the Indianapolis 500. We are on lap number 197, just 3 to go. So on to the main straightaway, the 4th and final turn. The final lap now being completed. The pace car will actually see the checkered flag first. And there is the checkered flag alongside the yellow. Rick Mears has won his 3rd Indianapolis 500, and Chevrolet has won at Indy. He has to be careful. It has to worry him whenever in these last laps he's got to pass somebody.
Oh, it certainly does. And so many times, there's a white flag, 1 lap to go. So naturally they worry about it because so often a driver loses at the very last. He runs over something, somebody bumps him, or whatever. Now Chris is worried about it, Roger's worried about it. Of course, Rick is too.
So Rick Mears, perhaps he is about to join that list of drivers that have won both Indianapolis and Milwaukee. The checkered flag comes out, the twin checkered flag, and Rick Mears has won back-to-back races. First the Indianapolis 500, and now the Milwaukee 200, his 23rd IndyCar victory.
There's the white flag. One more lap to go for Danny Sullivan. We'll follow him around. He goes through the chicane now for the final time. Everything looking very well, although fuel can run out of that car anywhere on the racetrack at any time.
We'll see here because he's making a hard right-hander, and now he'll make a left-hander, and if it falters at all, that will tell because you can slosh the fuel away from the pickup and get a stumble, and the car is running strong, so I don't think he has any problem.
Moving through turns number 5 and 5A, now on to the backstretch for the final time. Danny Sullivan, originally from Louisville, Kentucky. Former winner of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Now accelerating and braking rather, and downshifting for turns number 7 and 8. Here he comes through the final corner, number 9.
He can coast.
Danny Sullivan has it wrapped up from here. He stands on the throttle. The fuel is there. The checkered flag comes out, and Danny Sullivan has won the Budweiser G.I. Joe's 200 from Portland International Raceway. And the white flag comes out. Mario Andretti has another lap to go, and the win will be his. Here comes second and third. Ray Hall, followed very closely by Danny Sullivan. Sullivan, the pole sitter in the race, is running in third. Mario Andretti, meanwhile, Lisle streaks around that corner number 5, the long sweeping right-hander. Braking now and heading for turn number 5. There he is through number 5, and here comes second and third, Rahal and Danny Sullivan. I think Rahal is going to be able to hold off the challenge, but if he does, well, I mean, we gave the co-drivers awards to Mario Andretti and Bobby Rahal. Mario hit the wall. Sullivan got out, or rather, Rahal got out of shape twice in turn number 3, and still these guys finished first and second.
That's incredible. They have driven one whale of a race today. Sullivan is still moving in close now. There he is, right on Rahal's tail coming off of turn 10. It could be any way here.
This is the battle to the checkered flag. This is where Sullivan is going to have to do it if he can. He closes in, but I don't believe he's going to be able to do it. They come through turns 11 and 12. Mario wins. Rahal second, and Danny Sullivan is third. A great IndyCar race at Cleveland.
Little Al Unser Jr. coming now to take the white flag. There it is. From Nick Finoro, the starter. His assistant is Terry Walsh, and we have 1 lap to go.
Now he is not going to make any mistakes. He's going to stay well away from all the walls. He's not going to miss any gear shifts. He now has to work out how far away he is from the finishing line so that he can even coast home if necessary. That's what's going on in his mind. Let's not make any mistakes. Let's get round the obstacles such as that still parked racing car round the stadium. Be very quiet in his transmission, be very quiet in his gas pedal, not overdoing the brakes on this one. This will not be a fast lap. Danny Sullivan, on the other hand, can't afford to let up, because if something were to go wrong with Al Unser Jr., he wants to be able to eat up the road. So his final lap will undoubtedly be faster than Al's.
And little Al still comfortably with the lead over Danny Sullivan, and he comes into exhibition curve and heads for the start-finish line. There it is, the checkered flag for little Al. Tries to come under him once again, and Mario shuts the door.
And
Mario is slowing down.
big trouble.
The bad luck continues to stalk Mario Andretti.
Paul Newman can't believe it. And there is our new leader once again, Al. And there's somebody hit the wall.
Boiselle hit the wall down the front straight. Jones and Mears coming behind him. And then the leader, little Al, as well have a white flag for one lap to go. And that is the 30 car Raul Boiselle Domino's Pizza that stopped against the wall.
Again without any injury. Again a
There was no yellow. There was no yellow.
Yes, he hit the wall very hard. He must have hit the wall there. I estimate he hit the wall there at well over 100 miles an hour, probably close to 130 miles an hour. And again, he just seems to have creeped his way. Mario Andretti is in the meantime driving slowly around the racetrack. There's a front wing lying in the front of the front stretch that I can look down. The front wing will have to be picked up by one of the officials here.
And now the checker flag for the winner, little Al Unser. Back-to-back victories, his third on the year.
You have a lap on him, and there's no way he could come back around and put one more lap to the lead. So if he gets real tight, Danny won't give the race up. He'll let him go.
And of course, the Bobby Rahal crew is hoping that somewhere along the line there has been a scoring miscalculation, and he is on the lead lap, but that is not the case according to the information that we're getting right now. Danny Sullivan is on the lead lap by himself and is about to receive the checkered flag. He moves into turn number 3, keeping the car in the middle of the racetrack. He comes off of the 4th corner. Danny Sullivan has won the Marlboro, Michigan 500, the second race of auto racing's Triple Crown.
And a win here with everything that's developing will put him in the driver's lead, the lead for the driver's championship with a lap to go.
And of course, that would be something unique, and he would be the first 3-time or 3-in-a-row winner of the championship. national championship in kart.
From a driver's standpoint, this has to be the longest lap of the day.
It really is. You sit back and take stock. You know you've got to be concentrating as hard as you ever have on this one to make sure nothing happens. Be alert for anything around you, anything that might develop. Here's a pass for third. Roberto Guerrero is taking third place.
From Derek Daly.
Tremendous racing here today, and Bobby Rahal is coming around that last turn, heading for the checkered flag, and he could kick it out of gear and coast from here.
And there it is, the checkered flag. Bobby Rahal has been racing Indy cars for 7 years. The victory today celebrated in the pits. At least one win in each of the 7 seasons. His total 18 career victories, his 6th on the oval, and his first oval win in nearly 2 years.
Emerson Fittipaldi from Brazil calls Miami his home. We talked about his boat business. He has a booming automotive business as well, manufacturing accessories. And Al Unser Jr. really chomping at the bit, as they say, trying to get around Mario Andretti. And, you know, shades of Meadowlands as well. Now, that was a battle for the lead, but I'm sure that Emerson has got to be thinking about that as well and saying, maybe I ought to let him go by, especially as they begin to round out of the keyhole and go to race traffic. But there now we see the reason why Unser Jr. is trying to get around Emerson Fittipaldi. It's because of this man, Danny Sullivan. Where did he come from?
He didn't fall out of an airplane and just land there. I can assure you he has moved and used the muscle of that Chevrolet and pulled into position.
And listen to this. That last lap, Danny Sullivan turned a 109-mile-per-hour lap. By 2 miles per hour, the fastest lap of the race.
How about that? Well, he's on the move, and of course he wants to get up there and challenge for this position with Al Unser Jr. Emerson's just sitting there waiting for the checkered flag virtually, and hopefully he'll be able to stay out of trouble, not have any problems, and we'll see what happens here in a few minutes.
So Danny Sullivan all over the back deck lid of the Valvoline car from the Rick Dallas stable, being piloted by Al Unser Jr. In the meantime, Emerson Fittipaldi not being challenged for position, but being challenged by fuel consumption, continues out of turn number 15 and takes the checkered flag. He is the winner of the race today. Sullivan will have to settle for 5th position. Unser Jr. 4th. Rick Mears hangs on for 3rd. And Mario Andretti will take 2nd.
White flag is out for Emerson Fittipaldi. Okay, it's opinion time, Johnny. Is this fair that they don't give these cars enough fuel, all they need to complete a race?
Well,
a celebration shot? What?
That's very hard at this point to, it's very hard to tell, because my feeling about the thing is we have rules to run by, and it's the same for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
But then again, you get situations like this to where, because they don't have enough fuel to finish the race on, so on and so forth. So it becomes a real argument, a real battle as to which way it should be done. Probably we should have enough fuel to run the race.
Emerson Fittipaldi goes through corner number 5 for the last time, but in his rearview mirror, he sees Bobby Rahal, who is only just about 2.5 or 3 seconds behind. The last lap, this is going to determine who's going to win this race. That's how close Bobby Rahal is. And among the 3 that we talked about at the opening of the show, namely Danny Sullivan, Al Unser Jr., and Bobby Rahal, those that are really battling for the kart points lead, Bobby Rahal is showing the best at this moment. Here comes Emerson Fittipaldi down the area of the racetrack called Thunder Valley, and he is looking for the checkered flag, but does he have enough fuel to go the entire distance? Here he comes down through the kink.
Well, if he stumbles at all here, Rahal's got him, and this is the part of the course where he's hard right, hard left, and it'll show up. It doesn't appear that he has a problem. His car is still accelerating off of those turns. When he goes, we'll see this on his left-hander here. Rahal is closing in. I don't think there's going to be quite enough time.
Well, let's see. Here comes Fittipaldi off of the 14th corner. There's Bobby Rahal right behind him. Emerson Fittipaldi climbs the hill looking for the checkered flag that lies just ahead. And there is the flag, and Fittipaldi wins the Briggs & Stratton 200 and records his 2nd consecutive IndyCar victory, with Bobby Rahal finishing less than a second behind. Unofficially, it's going to be Mario Andretti Andretti finishing in third position. Danny Sullivan fourth. Michael Andretti finishes in fifth position unofficially.
The white flag is out for Danny Sullivan. Can he get through this lap? The tires have been a problem, but Sullivan has been very smooth throughout the day. Michael Andretti is 12 seconds back, so if there would be any stutter at all in this machine, Michael could close and charge. But Danny Sullivan seems well on his way to a checkered flag and well on his way to a victory for Roger Penske as he scores it. Sullivan wins for Penske at Penske's own racetrack.
The fuel held out, the tires held out. Danny did a good job. They played a team. They beat Mario and Michael just because of the teamwork.
Regardless of what happens at Miami at Tamiami Park, the first weekend of November, Danny Sullivan will go into that race knowing that no one can knock him off of being the national champion for 1988. We're on the final lap of this race. Sullivan into turn number 2 in the new portion of the race course. This is the last time that he'll move through this area of the track at competitive speed at least. Danny Sullivan knows that now less than 2 miles away is that checkered flag and the crown for 1988 in IndyCar racing. This will be his 4th win of 1988. Al Unser Jr. has 3 wins. And of course, Danny was tied with him going in, but this will put him also at the top of the most races won category. Off of turn number 5 now onto the old section of the race course, headed uphill, and now braking at the top of the hill, turn number 7 down through the corkscrew for the final time. Danny Sullivan can almost coast to the finish line now because this is all downhill, or almost. Somebody is coasting. And very slowly there on the outside of the racetrack, as Sullivan now will brake hard for turn number 11 for the final time. Here he comes.
He's not
Danny
taking
Sullivan.
any chances of pulling up inside to try to pass somebody. He's going to glide across and take that checkered flag from Nick Fenoro, and there it is.
Danny Sullivan from Louisville, Kentucky wins the Champion Spark Plug 300 and wins the national driving title for 1988. There you can see him waving to the fans, the thousands of the fans who have gathered here for this race weekend at Laguna. Danny Sullivan comes home on top.
Oh, he almost slammed the door. He did lose it. He's going to hit. He did lose it.
Hitting very hard is Al Unser Jr.
There's a tremendous amount of water. That was right in front of us here, and there's actually running water across the track, and Al ran just a couple feet offline.
And there's the look from the team, and there's the look from the race car. Through turn 9, as we said all day, you could run literally flat out if you're operating well. And they say close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades, and close was not good enough for Al Unser Jr. today. He has crashed badly in turn 9. The yellow station is being shown in turn 9, and now it's all Michael Andretti in these final few laps of the Marlboro Challenge. The pressure is off of Andretti. This is the white flag lap for young Michael. He's going to be going by the crash scene momentarily.
I got to tell you, Jack, you know, it doesn't matter that this race doesn't end under the green. This was the best race there's been all year. I mean, that was an incredible dice, back and forth, and little Al did not ever give up. Michael never gave up. And, you know, it just shows you by Al Jr. crashing, which he doesn't do that often, how hard he was trying to get by Michael.
And this will be a victory for Cosworth Power. This is the team that's worked so hard with the new Cosworths. And now, as they go out of turn 9 and come to the start-finish line, the winner will be, and he'll receive the checkered flag from starter Nick Fenoro. Michael Andretti has won the Marlboro Challenge, and behind him, somewhat dejected, but gave it 115% is Al Unser Jr., who has crashed in turn 9.
He's got a 49-second lead. They're showing actually the lap left ahead of Rick right now. So what they're playing for, what they're hoping for, is don't run out of fuel, don't break anything, go easy on the clutch, shift it nice and easy, and that's what little Al's been doing for quite a while now, folks.
Al has begun his last lap. We'll remember that he won this race, taking the win away from Roberto Guerrero 2 years ago on the very last lap when Roberto Guerrero ran out of fuel and little Al rocked past. Now, that shouldn't happen here today. Shouldn't is always a word in auto racing one has to be very careful with using because of the long period of yellow, over 7 laps of yellow at the start of the race. But still, it's not over until that checkered flag flies. Yet Al Unser Jr. appears to be about ready to wrap up the 1988 IndyCar season with a win at Tamiami Park in Miami. Al Unser Jr. on the final long straightaway makes his turn, the last turn. The checkered flag lies just ahead. Nick Fenoro has it, and the have come on road courses. Little Al has yet to win on an oval, but a win is very sweet any way that you take it.
And he's going to get that number 2 on the car that they've been wanting all year. They wanted number 1, but number 2's not bad.